We'll start with the main meal service. We have the finest wine, the best food you possibly can do in such a small aircraft, such a small galley.
Concorde's food reputation is really, one word, is luxury. It has to be the best of the best. It's obviously a very, very quick flight, so that's a challenge to us because it's a matter of serving 100 people very quickly. The food needs to be luxurious, it needs to be healthy, it needs to be visually good. The process starts about 4 months out, and we plan menus for winter and for summer that rotate every week. We look at what's innovative, we look at what's new to the market, we look at what people are eating on the ground, what they're eating in restaurants, how they're dining in hotels. We try and encompass that into the Concorde service. It's quite a challenge, and it's a brainstorming session for my team. We throw up many, many ideas. Some make it, some don't, some get dropped initially. Some will make it all the way through to the end, and then we'll drop it because it just doesn't work for us. It's got to be doable on board, as we say, DOB. One of the things Concorde is known for is its equipment. We've got fine bone china that we put all the food onto, and we have some amazing cutlery. It's absolutely beautiful, the sort of shape, the size. It just lends itself so well to the Concorde experience. You're in a unique environment, and to be able to use these really elegant knives and forks and the spoon, I think is just fantastic, but it's never flown.
After September the 11th, the airline was forced to switch to plastic. The cutlery, which was designed for the relaunch flight, has never been used.
All the cutlery, the crockery and everything associated with Concorde is currently being looked at of how we can really use it or dispose of it in an innovative way. But believe me, everything on board the aircraft is becoming a collector's item, and it'll be damned exciting whatever decides to happen with this cutlery and the aircraft.
It is an exclusive club where the rich and famous travel, and it's fast and it's convenient.
Some of these people travel on it more than I do, and to be able to welcome them on board by their names without even seeing their boarding cards, they recognize you, they sit down, and I don't have to ask them what they want to drink. I don't have to ask them what they want to eat. If they're going to New York, then a lot of them will just want a bottle of water and maybe a light snack, sandwiches, and I'll just say the usual to them, and they'll say yes. They're going home, possibly for the weekend, and they might like a glass of red wine or white wine and the full meal. So that really does stick in my mind. It's like a very exclusive club with our regular customers, and I will miss that.
Flying the Concorde is not only convenient, it's a kind of social circumstance, which makes for a club group. So those who fly the Concorde are Concorders, and somehow you smile a little more at people on the plane and get smiled at more frequently.
I remember once flying from London to New York, and a member of the president's cabinet was on board and had his tie loosened, his shoes off, and I remember the captain came back and said, "Sir, the President of the United States is calling." And this gentleman got up, straightened his tie, put his shoes on, as though the President of the United States could see him in a relaxed mode, and went forward like a soldier to answer the call. That always tickled me. One of the things about the Concorde that always surprised me, obviously it had a very select manifest, some very special passengers, people in high places, a very upmarket crowd. And yet when they passed out the little goodies at the end, either a little tie clip or a money clip or a fountain pen or an appointment book, something that had Concorde on it, I mean, people opened it as though it was Christmas morning, It always amused me. Of course, I always straighten my tie and put on my shoes before I open mine.
I don't want to sound blasé here, but we do see an awful lot of celebrities and a lot of stars. Some stick in your mind more than others. Paul McCartney, one of my favorites, an absolute gentleman. The Duchess of York, again, very, very pleasant.
Although a rarefied club, anyone could be admitted. All you needed was a $12,000 round-trip ticket.
Now we're seeing many, many more individuals who are saying, right, we know Concorde's retiring, we want that experience of a lifetime. We want to fly on this fantastic aircraft, we'll save up our money, and we'll take the trip we've always promised ourselves.
What we're feeling now is sheer exhilaration. We wanted to see the curvature of the Earth and experience the Concorde while it's still in service, and spend First time on a trip like this in supersonic with my new wife.
50 years ago, when I came to this continent, it took me 6 days. I'm going back in 3 hours and 19 minutes, which is kind of remarkable.
Everybody's just so, they're just so happy to be on the aircraft, and it's just a wonderful atmosphere every time I've flown on her. You know, apart from the rich and the famous, it's everybody. It's everybody's dream to fly on this aircraft.
The best part of all this luxury was that many of the frequent business flyers could justify the expense. Their time saved was money earned.
Well, Concorde primarily is a business person's tool. It's always been designed to carry a business person between London or Paris and the East Coast of the United States. Those people whose time is money, their time is so valuable, they pay a premium price in order to travel and to make the trip in a short period of time to accomplish whatever they had to do.
The atmosphere on Concorde today I describe as somewhat ho-hum. You get on the plane, many times I run into people I know in business, many times I run into people I know just from flying the Concorde. You get to know the crew, you get to know the ground staff on a first-name basis on both ends. I board a flight at midnight in Bangkok. I travel the 12 or 13 hours back to London. I arrive in London at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. I get off the plane, I take a hot shower, I put on clean clothes, I eat breakfast, I get on the Concorde, and I'm back in my office in New York City by 10 in the morning. So I've flown 24 hours and I've not missed any working time.
Well, for about 10 years in my 30s, I commuted on Concorde virtually every week. And I would never have been able to have had the good luck I had in America, trying to plant a British flag in Madison Avenue if it hadn't been for Concorde. That's what made the whole thing possible for me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But there was another way to enjoy Concorde, and that club would often meet on a windswept beach a mile away from Kennedy Airport.
They're taking off on 4. They'll either send it out on 3-1 left or on 2-2. I mean, I don't think they're going to...
This rather less exclusive club nonetheless immersed themselves in their own habits and pastimes in the name of Concorde.
On to runway 31 left.
31 left.
31 left. 3-1 left. Somebody owes me a pound or two.
Call it the Concorde cult. People on both sides of the Atlantic who obsessively documented every takeoff and landing.
So I've been following Concorde for, I guess about since 77, 78. My mother actually took me for the first time. And when it first came out, it always used to fly over my house. I used to look up and be fascinated with it.
In some cases, it was a family affair.
I feel like I'm losing a part of my history because it's what I grew up with. If you were someone that grew up with a baseball field near your house that got torn up, the same kind of emotions run through you. You're losing something that you'll no longer see. My father would spend his weekends and he would take us out to the airport. And I'm a little guy of maybe 3 or 4 years old, and here I am every Saturday and Sunday watching Concorde take off and land with him. I was very, very young. And since then, whenever I get a chance, if I have a day off and whatnot, I still try and get over there and catch it flying still. Some people are going to be a millionaire. They want to do that. Some people want to, be a big doctor in Manhattan with a big office. I had a very, very small goal for myself. I wanted to experience the flight, and I didn't want to live my life without finally being the person to look out the window just for once.
I missed like 707s. I missed caught the end of 727s. I mean, I don't want to go another couple years and say, oh, I missed the Concorde. I want to get as much video of it as I can. I want to see it as much. I want to enjoy it as much.
Okay, 6008, taxi left November, left Alpha.
Luckily today the sun is being hidden a little bit. We have to factor that into our strategy as well. The sun's glaring, it's the middle of the summer. 9 o'clock departure, all you're gonna get is really glare, but you still get the excitement coming at you.
I don't care if you like planes or not. Some people may think it's weird, but when it comes to the Concorde, I don't see how you couldn't like it and want to get up early for that. Yeah, no, it's cultish. It's you know, you learn so much. You go home and start reading stuff. You know, you got to make sure you keep your information up to date. You know, you're constantly reading aviation news stuff to see what's going on. Everyone's good friends.
You know, I see her go off every chance I get. Well, I went out and bought a scanner, and you can listen to different frequencies, and you just get to say, this is departure, this is arrivals, that type of thing. And you get to monitor the frequencies, you monitor ground, you monitor departure, you know, the tower, things like that.
Paper 2 heavy, wind 05012, runway 31 left, clear for takeoff.
All right, guys, you got clearance.
Quite nicely.
Yeah. I don't know, favoring the cannon.
I'm looking for mist.
Did you get the vapor trails up there?
Yeah. It'll be light, but yeah.
You came up early, right?
Okay. Beautiful. Yeah, that worked well.
I was filming it, and I just had to put the camera down and just watch it. You know, just the noise and just seeing it, this glare coming off it. It's just so beautiful. You know what I mean? It doesn't get much better.
It's just totally different, isn't it? You know, it's an airplane that is just totally different from all the rest. That's what makes it different. You can stand here and see 747s take off, and even though they're different colour schemes, they all pretty much look the same. But Concorde's the one that is just totally different from everything else, and that's why
you're just in awe of it.
Yeah,
you know, it's just absolutely, you know, in awe. And when you're underneath it, and you get the full vibration and the noise factor, and you watch her go right overhead. You know, yeah, you know, I love a 747, okay, but it doesn't compare to what that Concorde does to you, you know? Just knocks you off your feet.
After a lifetime of looking up, enthusiast Mario Craig finally got his chance to sample the Concorde experience when a relative who worked for British Airways was able to get him a discounted ticket.
And I didn't think it was going to happen until I actually touched the plane, and that's when I knew it was going to happen. And I walked up to the white covering, and I realized this is it. I touched the skin on the plane, and I'm like, wow, this is really it. I'm a small guy, I'm only 5'8", and I ducked into the plane, and I was like, wow, this is really small. I go down the aisle to, my seat was 11A, and as I go to my seat, I literally pinch the seats. I get chills about it right now, because I do get teary-eyed still. I can't believe I've done it. To me, I still feel like it was a dream.
And now, that dream is over. For many, a photo by the Mach meter will be the only proof that they somehow managed to travel at twice the speed of sound.
I always joke to my friends now, they say to me, what are you going to do when Concorde finishes? And I said, well, I'm going to have to become a mere mortal again now. Travel at below 12 miles high in the sky and less than the speed of sound and less than a rifle bullet.
But Concorde was not allowed to fly gently into the night. Everyone agreed that its era needed to be seen out in style.
When we announced the retirement of Concorde, one of the things we at British Airways